what we have here is two different buck converters. This buck converter is a XL4015 buck step down converter, 5 amps. This one is a XL6009 buck step up step down converter at 3 amps. Now these work in the condition that they're in, but what happens is this chip right here gets real hot, and when it gets to a certain temperature, it could fail, and that renders the whole converter useless because there's no way to absorb the heat. This board do okay absorbing the heat, but it's just not enough for for the board to anticipate the heat. The same with this one. This has just one chip here that has to the board has to absorb the heat from this for this one. But I'm gonna show you how to take these heat sinks I made, all these different ones, and combine it with this, so it'll be able to charge a battery like this that's a 4S 2P, or you can charge a 7S, I mean a 7, a 3S, I mean a 3S 7P. And the more batteries you connect to them, the more it heat have to more it'll stay heated, or it more hot. I'm sorry, it'll get. So the more batteries you add, the longer it'll take to charge. So that heat will just stay for a while. So, but if you put just I have one here. You put just a little heat sink on it, it's able to charge like 2 or 3 batteries, and it don't get that hot. But then you may be charging more batteries. That's why I'm trying to show you how to build one. You might charge more batteries, so you have to put more heat sinks. So it have to be something like this. You know, it look kind of weird, but it does a really good job. And all these heat sinks actually help the converter dissipate that heat from the bottom and top, and makes for a nice for this little converter that kicks out a lot of charge to work properly. So I'm gonna show you how to build that. First, what we'll do is we'll start with the XL4015. So what we'll do first is we'll flip it over on its back. We'll take a little alcohol and rub on it. Just try to make a little alcohol on it. Try to get any grease off of it. Then what we'll do first is we're gonna use super glue. I wouldn't prefer using any glue gun because it gets hot, and this really gets hot, so it could just fall right off with a glue gun. So you want to use super glue. So you put a little glue on it, and I have these pre-cut. So this one's gonna go the way it's pre-cut. It's gonna sit right here, and I'm gonna use a little bit of this actuator. That's gonna make it cure fast. Alright, so we got the bottom. And then what we're gonna do next is we're gonna take this heat sink and flip it over. We're gonna place it on the bottom right here, like this. And that's gonna help it dissipate heat from the bottom and top. You wanna use super glue because super glue can stay stuck while it gets with all that heat. It won't come apart. It does really, really well. Then hit that with a little. Then what you want to do next is, all these are pre-cut. I have my next one is this one. I'm gonna put it here on top of the chip. I think it's a MOSFET, I'm not for sure. Put a little glue on it. Set that on top. Don't want it to touch. Set it on top. Let it sit for a second. Then hit it with the actuator. And then next, what I'm doing is lifting it up so this will clear. So it'll be clear from that. So I'm gonna put this other heat sink on top of this one. Smash it down for a second, then hit it with a little. Make sure it's nice and even. Then now for the big heat, for the big one on the top, it's gonna set up here like that, and it just keep going with the super glue. Then set that one on top like that. Even it up so it'll look okay. Make sure it's clear. Make sure you clear from your from better to turn it up and down. I went a little bit too far on this side, but it'll be okay. I can still adjust it. Now see, there you go. Now it's finished. Now I'm gonna show you this in working order too after I build the other one. Then you have one-way dial that you can put on them too. So now I'm gonna build this one. This one is a little different, so I had to make for a different cut. So what I'm gonna use with this one, we're gonna use a little captain's tape because it has metal on top. But what we're gonna do with the captain's tape, we're gonna turn the non-adhesive side on this side here. We're gonna add glue on this side. Then we're gonna stick that on this side like that. Okay, we're cut the excess off. Now we're taking out the heat sink onto it. Cut this off because I'm going to have to glue it on this side to ensure it don't come off. So we'll put the glue on top. Now we'll position this one so we won't touch any metal. Just put it like this right here. That'll be perfect, just like that. Out of the way of both of them, not touching any metal. And then that's fine. It's not touching over here, over there. Then what we're gonna do is to make sure this is gonna hold. We're gonna put a little glue on each side of it. Just to make sure in the future it doesn't come off while it's getting hot. And what this does, it makes a cheap converter last for a long time if you can get rid of that heat. All right, now we're going to take this bottom heat sink and set it on the bottom like this with a little more glue. And we'll stick that on the bottom here. Even it up. Hold it for a second. Hold it for a second. A little glue on now. Hold it for a second. Still got more glue. It's curing. I gotta get this off because it's curing. Let me scrape that off. Alright, I'm glad it came off. Alright, let's try it again. Here we go. Push it down nice and tight. Hit it with a little actuator. Alright, now the bottom's done, see? Now it's time for the top. This one I cut it in a different shape because of the way this is made. It's fabricated in different shape. What we're going to do first is, to get to the height of this we're going to put this little one here. This little heat sink right here. Let me get this glue off. I'm going to put a little super glue on that. I'm going to put this heat sink here in the corner. Second seal. Hit it with an actuator on the bottom, just sort of set up. Now we're going to take this one and we're going to set it here, like this. We're going to put a little glue on these. Hit it with a little actuator. A little activator, I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing it wrong. A little activator. If I'm pronouncing it wrong. Now we're going to put this one on top. We're going to see. It don't have to touch that one because with the whole heat sink is going to absorb to this to this other heat sink, and it's high enough to clear everything. So I'm just going to make sure where I need to glue it at. About right there will be fine. Be perfect. Then we'll put that up there like that and get down to the hole, and that's secured already. Then we'll hit it with a little bit more just to let it dry quick. Alright, now we got both of these buck converters. Step down, step up, step down, buck converters finished. Now we're gonna make them work and show you how they charge. This battery here, this battery here is at 15.1596. We finna run it. I got a fans hooked up here to draw this battery down. We're gonna do it now. We're gonna let that draw that down a little bit while I get one of these converters ready. We have two different chargers over here. This one is a 1.5 amp, 19 volt, and this one is a 15 volt, 5 amp. We're gonna use that one on this one first, the 15 volt. So I'll solder that while this is drawing the power out of the lithium batteries. Sorry for the noise, but it's a test. Now, let me switch that off so you can hear me. I apologize still. Now we're going to look for the input side. That's the input, and this is the output right here. We need the output positive side. Output positive is right here. So we're going to take this diode and we're going to hook it to the positive side. And now it's hooked to the positive side, and we're going to take 5 amp, this 5 amp charger and connect it to the input. So we're going to solder it here. we're going to start the other side right here. If I can get it to act right. Alright. Alright, now we'll start with this one first. If I got enough time, like 15 minutes. Okay, now we'll start with this one by putting it on the charge. What the diode does is not let the power come back through the converter. The power stops. It don't send the power back through the converter. The diode stops it. It'll just send power out to charge the battery. And we'll check that. We'll check that by testing here. You see we at 15.9. We lost about. Then if you check it here, still at 15. But if you check it back here, it should be, see, nothing. So we're going to take and turn on the charger. And this is going to get hot. It's going to get real hot. And you see it's on. And ooh, I just made a boo-boo. I have to disconnect this because I just made a boo-boo. Okay, I'm back. The problem I made was I have to make sure I adjust the voltage before making sure I'm putting the right voltage to it. So we're going to touch these two prongs to here and see what we have on here, which we got 15. We're going to turn it up to about 16, to about 17. See, we can't turn this one up no higher because this is a step down converter. Now what we need is a step up converter to charge this one. Okay, just like this one, solder the wires to the back, but we can't use this one for this one because this is only 3 amps. So we have to switch down to a 19 volt, the right amperage, because this is 16 volts. So at 1.5 amps, so we have the right amps, the right voltage to charge this one. So we'll plug it up and then let's see what we have on the voltage side. So we got it plugged up and we'll take the voltage and we'll adjust it to get the right voltage to charge the batteries. So we'll touch it here and here. What we have is 24. We'll turn that 20 down to 16. Switch it back. Turn it down to 16.6. There we go, right there. Now we'll take this and connect it back here. Now we have the right voltage to charge the batteries. Now we're going to put it back on it to see if we got a voltage coming up. See it's charging. See it's charging. Now this is going to get warm. We're going to make it get real warm because we're going to turn the fans on so it'll draw on the batteries. We're going to check the temperature. See that the temperature is at 100 and something. And we're going to turn the battery off. You see how hot that's getting? It's at 100 and 1600. Yeah, it's getting pretty warm. But see, with a heat sink on the bottom and on the top, it's able to keep that chip nice and cool, even under pressure. I mean, even when it's being put. See, and the fans are blowing that way. They're not blowing this way. See? The fans are pulling. See, they're pulling. They're not blowing this way. Look at how hot it's getting. But it's only kicking out 1.5 amps, so it won't get real hot. Not hot as this one to get with 5 amps. But we'll check the voltage on the battery and see where we're at. See, and it's still maintaining the charge to it under load. It's still charging it under load. Now if we unplug the charger, watch what happens. Now see how it kicked down? Now watch. It's pulling from the battery now, see? See the voltage going down in the battery? Now we're going to let the voltage go down even more. Now watch what happens when I plug this back up. See the fans went back up? These little things, they work really good. They work pretty good if you can absorb, if you can anticipate, if you can get rid of that heat. Look at that, it's getting warm, but not hot enough so the chip won't mess up. So I really like these. They work really good in a lot of DIYs. So there you go. And I'll show you a charge on this one later.